Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, we'll start off with the black TR7 V8 that we had in. We showed that last week. It's one with the quite tuned up 4.2 engine in it. That's all now done and sorted. There was actually a fair bit more involved than we first thought on the suspension work and things like that as to why it was driving so badly. We also give it a good clean up and polished it all. So we've got plenty of videos of that throughout the week, which we'll put in now, and then we'll move on to the Rover V8 and what else we've got upcoming over the Christmas period. Okay, got the black TR7 V8, the 4.2 one, on the lift, and I found the issue with the front suspension. So the left-hand wheel is very wobbly, as in you can get hold of it and wobble it all over the place, and that is because the steering arm is come loose. You see the washer's loose, so that steering arm is moving backwards and forwards and the wheel's all over the place. So that should be quite a quick, easy little fix. There's a tiniest bit of play in the end of the steering rack on the right hand side, but it's only going to be like an advisory at this stage. It's not major. It's already, the whole car's already been body bushed, so the rest of it's pretty good. I can't see any split rubbers on the dust covers or anything like that. So I've still got to do an inspection on the car overall as well, and the brakes. Look at the brakes. I already know the rear wheel on this side, left hand side, is binding just a little bit, and this side spins as it should. So I have to look at that. Might have a little bit of corrosion in the drum where it's been sat, and as suspected, if you can look up here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up because of the light, there's side bushes on the remote. Top ones are a pain in the ass to get to, but you have to replace all of them. And if I grab hold of the remote somehow, hang on, try to get the camera in as well. So, yep, there you go. Remote bushes are completely gone, they're not even in there anymore. Bit of a pain in the ass to do, as to do it, remove the exhaust, take the prop shaft off, support the gearbox on a transmission stand, undo the gearbox mount and lower the gearbox down, and then you can get to the bushes, change them, put it all back together. And we've also got a very badly perished lower radiator hose, so I'll have to replace that as well. So that's just the initial things that we know about, so I'll have to do a complete check over and inspection on the vehicle, check all the electrics, etc., and get it so it's actually right and roadworthy. Well, this has been a pain in the ass so far. Well, obviously I've got to drop the exhaust system to be able to drop the prop shaft out to be able to lower the gearbox, which, well, I've got one half of the exhaust system off, but the other half I can't separate, but I've managed to wiggle it and separate it to get this pipe out the way. It's still all connected, this joint here just will not come apart, so I managed to get it separated just so we can get the prop shaft off and lower the gearbox down to these remote bushes. So yeah, pain in the bloody arse, these things. So the remote bushes on these are an absolute pain to do in the first place, but when you've got exhaust systems that don't come apart, it makes it even better. So, but I've now got enough room to work on it, so we'll get it sorted, get the gearbox dropped down and get it sorted out. So first thing Monday morning, that's what we need, isn't it? Okay, I've now got the prop shaft off, gearbox mount off, and got the gearbox lowered down, and my camera's a bit blurry. I think I've just touched it with an oily finger, and you can now see the bushes better. There should be rubber bushes in here and up here, so there's not, they're completely gone. So all it should have is these rubber bushes and some little steel spaces, which the steel spaces are obviously still in there. They can't really come out. So yep, all of this work just to get to some little rubbers so you can select your gears properly. Yeah, brilliant idea that was, but it's what they have. You can get uprated polybush ones, but the supplier that I went to didn't actually have any in stock today. They're out of stock, so we've got the normal rubber ones, which will be okay for a decent amount of time. So yep, we'll get all the bushes cleaned, get the bolts out, get them all cleaned up, bushes changed, and put it back together. Okay, all the gear selector bushes all sorted out now. I'm just onto the front suspension issue, but I'll show you under here quickly. Not like you can really see a lot. No, light's absolutely terrible, and the light's over there on charge. But the gear selector is now absolutely spot on. But I've just started on the issue with the steering arm being loose. Now, the bolt that I took out is this one, okay, which looks correct on first glance. I've got a couple of spare ones, I haven't got many, but that is the bolt that should be in it. One, it's got no spring, this one's got no spring washer, which it should have, so it's just kind of, it will work its way loose, which I thought it might have done initially, but it hasn't. It was actually tight, and the reason being is it's bottomed out. The threads are two totally different lengths, so this is only going in by a few threads and then just bottoming out. The threads should be a lot longer, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, as I haven't got many of the correct ones, and the ones I have got I want to keep hold of really. If I have one that I have with a car, and get my words out, if I get a car that hasn't got one at all, you get one that shears, I've got the correct one to start with. So what I'm going to do is, I've got taps and die sets, so I'm going to die the thread down so it's the correct length, fit a spring washer to it along with some thread lock to make sure it doesn't come loose again, and then I'm also going to check the rest of the fixings on the whole suspension as well. So especially on the steering arms and the caliper bolts, it's got aftermarket calipers and that on it. So I'll check them all and make sure they're all correct. Spanner check all the suspension. Also, I'm going to cut these down. So whoever's fitted the subframe bushes has replaced the bolts with bolts that are way too long. So I'll check them and cut them down. They should be more like that one there. So this front two are miles too long. So that's just ridiculous. That's going to catch on stuff on the road possibly. That's pretty much the lowest point on the car. Looking at it, it's lower than the subframe. It's lower than everything else. The last thing you want to do is hit that. So obviously this is lower, but yeah, so I'll sort them out as well. And that'll be probably about home time then. And tomorrow I'll get the rear brakes sorted out, check the front brakes, and after I've spanner checked it all, I'll then road test it and do the lower. I'll do the lower hose first because I don't really fancy that personal on road test. I'll do the lower front radiator hose, road test it, and see how it goes, see if there's any other issues, and then do the full sort of safety inspection on it. Once I've rectified these major faults that I already know about. And then we've got the last of the clean-up jobs to do. I polish it up because it's actually a pearlescent black and it's gone very grey. So we'll clean it all up, polish it all so it looks all as good as it can. Repair the hood and just a few finishing off jobs on it. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow we should be somewhere close to being done, other than having the wheels refurbished and new tyres. So the tyres have got decent tread on them. They're not cracking or anything, they're just a bit old. I can't remember what date codes were on it now. I'll have a look, but they're just a bit old. Plus the owner wants to get them refurbed so they look nice. So he can get that done if he wants to, or he can bring up a set of donor wheels and then take them away and get them done. It's up to him. But we'll get this suspension sorted out, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be road testing it. Right, the suspension saga continues on the front. Now, obviously I showed the little video of the bolts being wrong in the arms, and it's not surprised now after what I've seen why this car was driving, well, reportedly be driving so badly. Every single fixing on the suspension was loose. It's had all new bushes replaced in it, all poly bush and everything. But I decided to spanner check it all. Everything was loose, and they've used all the old nylocks, which maybe they tightened them up, and the car was driven and it's come loose. I don't know, but either way, you don't reuse nylocks. It's absolutely ridiculous to do that, especially considering the price of new ones. They're so cheap. But I just thought I'd check the subframe, make sure that's nice and tight, and replace the nylocks on that as well. And I've come across a way I've never seen a subframe mounted like this before. The subframe's literally moving all over the place. If we go down here, now here you've got your subframe mount. Now that is a big washer that should be on the bottom. Yeah, they do have a decent sized washer on the top, but then they've got a rubber underneath, which I can actually spin that one. You can hear it. That's how loose the subframe is. It's not even done up and clamped up. So that is loose. That rubber shouldn't even be in there. That should be between the chassis and the subframe. Underneath, not on top. And then it should all be done up underneath. And then, same on the back one. I might be able to get the camera in there so you can see it better. Hold on a second. I don't know if that's going to pick it up. There you go. Is that one loose? Yep. That one's loose as well. That's brilliant, that is. Absolutely brilliant. So I've now got the fun job of trying to do the subframe bushes and put them right and get it bolted up as it should be. So hopefully this car will actually drive as it should do pretty soon. So this is the last job on the front suspension. Then I'm going to double check all the rear suspensions and make sure that's all tight. Same scenario, it's had all new bushes and everything put in it, so I doubt it is. And then I've got to look at the rear brakes, and then we can actually road test it and see if it throws up any other issues. Right, the black TR7 V8. Well, we've pretty much done all the little jobs on it now. I've still got to fit the left-hand mirror back onto it where that's come off. But I'm just about, well, I've just started doing the polishing on it. I'll show you that in a second. We've got the hood all refitted correctly and back into shape, as this bar in here was down here. So the hood was all misshapen, it was all loose and baggy, and now it's nice and tight as it should be. It's fitting nicely around the back as well. So that's that all sorted. We done a few other bits and bobs on it. But the polishing, because the camera, I don't know if the camera picks it up that well, how bad the paint actually is on this thing. If we look, I've just gone over the front panel with a cutting compound. Still got to go over it again with a final polish, as it's a bit swirly. But I had to use cutting compound as the only thing that would bring it up. You can see the front panel to the bonnet, the actual difference in the paint, and bonnet is clean. Just wipe it again. That is all marking in the paint. So yeah, the paint's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's got chips, it's got defects and that in it, but we're going to try and make it look as good as we can for the customer. But yeah, the difference in it is night and day. So hopefully it will look quite good when it's done. I will get a little video of it when the car's all finished and all cleaned up, and we'll see what it looks like. Here we go. Car's all got the final polish and clean up. It's looking the best it's probably has done for a long time, and the best it possibly can, I think. The paint, like I said before, it's not perfect by a long way, but it's now shiny and it's black again instead of grey and covered in swirls and scratches. So the thing is, So we've fixed the hood. I think I mentioned that before. It's now ready to go back to its owner, which I think he's looking forward to driving it, as he hasn't driven it yet. He bought it with the issues with the suspension and everything, so I think it's going to surprise him when he gets a chance to drive it. I've recommended a nice dry day for him, as it is extremely lively, so it won't be today. As you can see, it's absolutely hammering it down with rain, but he's on his way to pick it up on his trailer, and then we can get on with, I think the next one is the white one to start, getting all the engine and everything sort of checked over and pulled out on that, and also crack on with the poorly Rover V8 to go into the Stag. Right, as you could see from them videos, that TR7 V8, it's a good job no one actually ever drove it very far on the road. The current owner, he hadn't ever driven it, as when he picked it up, he was warned by the previous owner, the person that built it. It didn't drive nice at all. He'd done a couple of miles on it and realised there was something majorly wrong, and then just left it. So it's a good job it never went on the road, because it was bad. But that's all done and sorted. It's now gone. And yeah, the car, I test drove it, and the car was an absolute animal to drive. I mean, when we got a section of dual carriageway not too far from here, and when you're doing 70 mile an hour and you touch the throttle and it spins the tyres and puts you sideways, yeah, it's quite lively. So yeah, it definitely needed an experienced driver to drive it. Definitely not one for the faint-hearted, but it's a bit of fun if you like that sort of thing. Anyway, so we'll move on now. The poorly Rover V8. So the Stag that this is going in is now here. It's outside. So that's the car we've had in numerous times before, and it's now, well, it's got bearing failure. We warned the owner back in the summer when we had the sump off of it to regasket the sump, and that we found metal in the sump, and you can see the camshaft was knackered as well. So he's done a few miles in it, but not too many, and it's held together, which is good. But hence why we started putting together another engine for him. This engine is very nearly ready to go in. Excuse me. Still waiting for the vernier cam pulley from Piper Cams to arrive. Chance of that being here before Christmas now are slim. It might turn up beforehand. We've got Monday and Tuesday yet, but I'm not holding my hopes out for it. And we've also got to take off a lot of the parts on that engine to use on this one, as that's got a brand new elder block carb and manifold set up on it. It's got brand new water pump on it. I know they're brand new because I fitted them not long ago. So we want all the parts off of that to fit onto this one. And also I needed the car here to check whether the sump for this engine will fit, as the sump for this engine hasn't been modified, but that one on that car has. So this came out of a Stag. I pulled it out of a Stag. So it depends how the conversion has been done, because we're using all the engine mounts and everything off of that car to keep everything in the same place as what it is, because it's an automatic gearbox. We don't want to go start moving everything for the sake of it, just to use an unmodified sump. So if the sump needs modifying, well, we're going to use sump off that car. So we'll remove the sump, clean it all up, paint it all, make sure it's all fresh, put it onto this one so we know it's going to fit. But it's just a few checks like that we need to do, hence why the car is here now. So before the engine's actually ready. The customer actually dropped the car off yesterday. He saw his engine for the first time, and he's very excited about it. He loves the way it looks. He's getting excited about having a good engine in the car. Not only that, an engine that's going to have a decent amount more power than what he's got. So it's going to make it quite a nice, drivable, fast car. So we've done the rocker covers, we've cleaned and blasted the rocker covers. So we've done them in wrinkle red for him, and we've also upgraded it to a stud and chrome nut kit, mainly because I've got some nice gaskets for it, just to make it so it's easy to fit. We've had these gaskets sorted out for the car. They're not going to leak, so I'm hoping to have the sump gasket done in the same way very shortly as well. So these gaskets, obviously they're rubber, they're reusable as well. If you ever need to take the rocker cover off at any point, they are completely reusable as long as they're nice and supple and not damaged. But the joy of them is they actually clip onto the rocker cover lip. There's a little lip on the bottom of the rocker cover. They actually clip onto it, so the little lip sits in here, and that is your ceiling face on the rocker cover. And then they've also got steel spacers in them, so you can tighten them up and actually tighten them to a set torque setting, which doesn't crush the gasket. It will give you a good seal and it won't leak. So hence why we're looking at doing the sump in the same way. So that way it'll do away with the cork gaskets and have no oil leaks. So we'll put that back in there. Obviously we've got, I think we showed them before, Headman header uprated exhaust manifold gaskets. So also, next thing I'm going to be doing is, there's no rocker gear in it yet, as well the camshaft's not in because I haven't got the cam wheel. So I'm going to do it all in one go. I'm going to fit the camshaft lifters, time it up, and set the cam timing all at the same time. So these rocker shafts, now they look to me like they've been rebuilt, because the top end of this engine had a rebuild badly before, if anyone was been following it. So I know that they're definitely been apart because we've got mismatched rockers. I have got some other sets of rockers, depends if they're badly worn or not. I might put together a match set for it, so that way I know they're good. But let's have a look, see where we got on them. One way to test them is if you pull back the rocker, and then they always wear badly on the base of the shaft, and that shaft is like new. Tiniest bit of marking in it, I'd say it's literally just been run. I'm going to check another one. Yeah, bit of wear there actually. Got a lip. So I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There we go. You see the little lip? It's just starting to wear on the bottom. I'll probably put price of the shafts. I'll probably put a pair of shafts in it for the sake of how far we've gone with it. So it's new. So yeah, they're not worth messing around with. And then obviously put a match set of rockers on it. I have got a set of old ones down there from another engine. I've got sets over there, so I've got plenty of spares for the Rover V8s from engines that I've broken over the years. So that's pretty much where we're up to on the Poly Rover V8. Now, obviously, we come up to Christmas, so next week, give me a little bit sort of bitty. I'm going to do Monday and Tuesday. I'm on the white TR7 Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to start getting on with that. Well, continue getting on with that. And then obviously Christmas. But between Christmas and New Year, we will come in and do some work. We're going to do a video, something a little bit different. We're going to do a full engine strip and talk about the issues with that type of engine. So that'll be an interesting little video to put out. So I've not even looked inside the engine yet. It's actually the engine for my friend's car, and it's going to be his wedding present for his car. So we're going to completely strip it, go through it all. It'd be nice to see what's inside it, as it's completely unknown. It's an engine that he's picked up. He don't know what mileage it's done or anything. So we'll completely gut it, rebuild it, and it's going to get a good amount of tuning input back into it to make it quite a fast little car, because it's going into his Spitfire. So, well, you obviously now know what engine it is. So but then engines do have a lot of issues. So we'll go into the issues and how to rectify them while we're stripping it, and we'll do the whole video of taking it apart, so you'll be able to see what we see when we take it as we're taking it apart. So, but I think that is all we've got this week. So, please, everyone, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you before the new year. So, on that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.